Our next segment.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Gilmore's first on this one. Again, the segment's approximately 7 minutes long. It may be a little longer or shorter, depending on how you all deal with it. But this is talking about climate change in writ large and sustainable clean energy for New Hampshire specifically. One of the two of you is going to be down in Concord as the representative for District 1.
Yep.
Okay?
Or Durham. Because we can't meet in Concord.
Yeah, right now they're having a meeting.
Well, I'm saying Concord
I know.
as symbolic of the state capital. Thank you very much. I love it when I get shot by my audience. But in any event, one of you will be either in Durham or Concord or wherever they decide to put you, maybe in the middle of the Atlantic on a rowboat. Who knows?
Yep.
But when you come up, and a bill was proposed last session, which the governor vetoed on sustainable energy, clean energy, I should say. How would you go about preparing a new bill that would have some capability of possibly passing the governor's pen?
I believe there was more than one. I mean, there were 12. Okay, so
I'm just asking.
Right.
I'm taking it as a group.
Okay. Well, this is great because as a skier, here we go again. I'm a Republican, and I actually believe in climate change. For 10, 15,000 years, we've been increasing. But if you look at the use of coal, and since 1880, roughly, ice is, I'm a skier, too. I'm a skier. So for me, protecting our winters is critical. We need to, preserve our playgrounds, protect our winters, and make sure that we have this future. Our industry, our valley, our economy is based upon having the 4 seasons. It's crucial that we do that. Personally, I built my house at 184 South. So my ridge lines would be perfect for future solar. I'm a proponent of solar. We built our house for it. We actually put the box in it. So when we install it, it flips on, my electric bill disappears. So the idea of net metering is actually persuasive to me, and I think it's persuasive to anybody who's got a large building with a big flat space where, hey, put that stuff up there. Let's reduce that carbon footprint one piece at a time. There's so many technologies that are out there. And I took the last question so hard. I'm sorry. Anita, I think, the net metering is a huge one, and there's like you said, there are 12 different bills that came up on this.
Okay,
so
Anita.
I
don't hesitate to jump in here.
No, that's fine. This is disturbing. We're agreeing on so much, but I guess the thing for me that was very hard, being in the legislature, was the governor did a record. I think it was either 79 or 80 vetoes, and 12 of them were clean energy bills, and I found that disturbing because I think clean energy should be one of our top priorities. And I also found it confusing because I think clean energy is going to revitalize our economy, both in the U.S. and in New Hampshire. I think it's going to create jobs. So I'm really uncertain as to why the governor chose to do that. And I just want, and particularly for somebody who's involved, his family is involved with the ski industry. That ski area is going to become a rainforest in the next 30 years if we don't do something about climate change. So I think I can't tell the governor how to veto or not veto something, but I think the argument that maybe would be most persuasive to Governor Sununu would be an economic argument to demonstrate that this is going to create X number of jobs. We can train new people. It's going to bring new families into New Hampshire, young families, which we desperately need.
And that's a really...
If I may,
go ahead.
A follow-on question for both of you, and I'll go to Mr. Gilmore first and then over to you, Ms. Burrows. We've talked about clean, sustainable energy. One of the things that often is dropped from the discussion is nuclear power. We have a nuclear power plant called Seabrook down on the seacoast. Is anyone interested in discussing that to some degree?
Here's a hot potato. Literally a hot potato. I think that we're all a little gun-shy. Clean nuclear is out there, and the bigger thing becomes the decommissioning piece and the dealing with the fuel. We run into issues not only with nuclear, but a lot of the clean energy technology that we run into, such as batteries. We start taking a look at EV vehicles, those electrovoltaic vehicles, the electric cars and the assisted cars. When we have that problem and it's time to change out the batteries, where do those batteries go? So when we do these types of things, we need to make sure that we are not just looking at the initial once, right? We're going to fix it here. Oh, great. well, now what do we do with the rods? What do we do
Were
with...
you aware of the proposal to build a disposal facility at Yucca Mountain in Nevada?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, that was killed by Senator Reid when he was Speaker of the House years ago.
NIMBY.
Anita.
I think all of us have the concern with nuclear. We think about what happened in Japan. I mean, it was just a horrible thing. People died. Communities were disrupted, and I'm not an expert on where we are today in terms of nuclear and how safe it is. But I think we're all looking for clean energy sources that are going to be safe and that we're not going to get sick and we're not going to have these major accidents.
And one piece that I want to cycle back on, because so watching the debate last week with Governor Sununu, or maybe it was one of his press conferences. I've watched every one of those Tuesdays, Thursdays, and now just the Thursday COVID, so you know it's coming out. And in one of these, he made a comment about the specifics of one of the bills that had to do with the clean energy related to solar. And that perked up my ears because one of my friends that from ski instructing, James, he's on the lead edge of solar, and he's campaigning for solar right now. It's what he does. It's bread and butter. 2 beautiful kids and a wife. But the point we were getting at is with Governor Sununu's plan, and I can't speak for him, he had said something about not doing giant solar farms, but being more interested in doing something along the lines of, let's put it onto long-term care facilities. Let's put it onto those flat roofs. Let's get it into mobile homes. I put it on my house because with 5 kids, a wife and myself and dogs and a grandmother, and we got a lot of energy coming in and out of the house. So we need to find ways to reduce that. So if you're living in a retirement community or something like a long-term facility, that can lower their overhead. And especially where those things are augmented and are semi-supported through tax funding and tax dollars. So do one, and we can get a couple good results down the road. Just a thought.
Please.
Ray, you probably know that there's been discussion about the county farm. Yeah. Taking that and using that for solar energy. So, and municipalities are also turning to solar and other types of renewable energy. That's going to lower their costs of running the town.
We got our schools.
Exactly.
We're agreeing again.
I know this is
cats and dogs are going to come through the roof.
But this was supposed to be contentious, folks.
No, man, it's not. No, it doesn't need to be. Think about all of our schools. Think about our schools, right?
Exactly right.
Think about those schools. Big flat area. What better way to learn about new technology than to put it on top of the schools? Get the kids up there seeing that future tech, future economic pieces, reducing the cost, reducing the carbon. Win, 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 win. I think 4 or 5. So, I mean, there's some wins there that we can get.
Ray, let me ask you, what was your thought about those 12 vetoes?
The line by line?
You don't have to go line by line.
I was going to say, line by line, we're going to have to go through. The net metering one was the one that caught my attention the most, mainly because I built that house with, 4 really good ridge lines. Right. So it was like, ooh, I want that number up.
Yeah.
Because it can become an incentive for me to put it up, and I can capture more of that solar piece. I can put that on my ridgeline, and all of a sudden that investment isn't so daunting. We looked at it a few weeks ago, or actually it was a year and a half ago now, and we looked at it, and it was still out of reach for me. I didn't have the money to do it. We're waiting for the technology to come down. The ridgelines is never moving. The sun piece will work. That 184 south is perfect for it.
So maybe what he's looking at is a more government assisting and not mandating. And maybe you're looking at a different perspective.
I'm not looking at a government mandate. I mean, I'm looking for our governor to see that this is gonna help our state big time. It's going to help our economy. We need it now with this COVID crisis. We need more jobs. I mean, there's some parts of the economy that are doing real well right now, and there are other types that are floundering. So.
New Hampshire has 2 industries that have their difficulties in a situation like this, which we're about to get to in the very near future.
Great lead-in. Almost.
Our next